Oh, all right. And we are live. Welcome back to Luminary Leaders Live. My name is Shuali Harrison, and I'm your host. And today I'm going to have you laughing. You are going to just be on the edge of your seat. And as you can see, my guest, he's got a beautiful head of hair there. And we're going to learn more about that in just a few minutes. Uh, he's fixing it there. His name is Ron Shuali, and I'm excited for you to meet him. But first, I wanted to kind of mention I had a great time yesterday. I was at the Fairbanks Ranch Golf Course, and I had it was the golf tournament that Andre Reed from the Buffalo Bills, Hall of Famer, put on yesterday, and it was so much fun. Made a lot of connections, and it's going to help us put our kind of plans in place for June 14th, which is the Athletes and Warriors, the golf tournament that's coming up, where we're going to again have Andre Reed and other Buffalo Bill players, former players, and just a whole bunch of fun stuff going on. We have Tesla, we have Hari Mari, we have a lot of different sponsors that are going to be there. So if you would like to come out, we invite you to come out as a golfer, join us with all of the alumni, and it's with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So if you want more information, hit me up on LinkedIn or even on YouTube, and I can share more information. So without further ado, I want to introduce this interesting character that's on the screen with me. This is Ron Shuali, and I'm going to let you know a little bit about him. He has been called the Messiah of the Mind. His laughter-filled programs are always full of eye-opening experiences as audience have multiple aha moments. His speaking style and commitment to being real results in audiences awakening their minds to new possibilities and understanding how to truly identify, address, and actually solve problems in areas like, and not limited to, effective communication, bullying solutions, management training, staff retention, conflict resolution, team building, on and on and on and on. So I would like to say a big, giant hair welcome to Ron Shuali.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you. And, someday I'm just going to throw it out there in the universe. You will be on Saturday Night Live. We're just throwing it out there because I think you do a great monologue. And once people learn more about you and hear you, they'll see why. But what I want to do, Ron, I want you to share a little bit with our audience about, who is Ron Shuali?
Interesting question.
Loaded question.
I was born in Israel. My parents came here when I was 4 years old, so I hitched a ride with them to work. I grew up in New Jersey. My world was martial arts, loved watching professional wrestling, loved acting, loved stand-up comedy. I was going back and forth between trying to discover what I wanted to do in my own life, business, finance. Did an amazing seminar in 2001 called the Landmark Forum, had me totally see a different light, a different perspective into what was getting in my own way, kind of living in that, you're living in this world of what you don't know your own blind spot. So I didn't know what was stopping me. It's amazing. And then like the day after I did that seminar, I dropped out of college, finance major. Yeah, parents didn't like that at all. And then I went to my karate instructor that I was training to actually be a better fighter because I wanted to go wrestle in Japan. And told them I did this seminar. It changed my life. I have no idea what I want to do moving on. But the only joy I really remembered was being in Israel, teaching my 8-year-old cousin, who's kind of like my little brother right now, karate for the first time. I met him when he was 1. And then I didn't go to Israel for 7 years. And then I met him at 8 years old. And it was incredible. And it was like a little monkey. The kid like ran up to me. His mother, my aunt, went like, this is your cousin from America. And he went, oh, and he ran up. I put my arm up and he jumped and swung on it. So like the whole week, taught him karate in the morning after he came back from school. And then like I thought I wanted to be a finance person. I thought I wanted to have a lot of money because that was a program that got stuck in my head that I programmed myself around 12 years old. And then my uncle, who was that person, CEO of this company, CEO of that company, I wanted him to watch my cousin do karate. He's like, oh, I'm too busy. I'm tired. I have meetings. So in that seminar, I'm sitting there going, well, this is what I think I wanted. And then I taught my cousin karate, and he loved it. So that's when I started my journey being a karate instructor. And from there, it's interesting. From there, I went from karate instructor to developing a behavior system based on sales, because I understand how the human mind really works. And then it went from there to I worked with a lot of these schools called the Goddard schools. It's a preschool chain around the country. There's like 500 of them. And there's like 5 directors from different schools kept on reaching out to corporate, said, you got to come watch this guy. He's got a behavior system that's incredible. And then fast forward, it's 5 months down the road. I was hired to do my first 4 keynotes in October 2009. And it was awesome. And from there, I've been traveling all over the country, doing trainings, developing Yogarate, but really, really getting to the heart of how to have people get a better understanding in themselves. And everything I do is trying to create win-win environments, because as human beings, we've been taught, one person has to win, one person has to lose. I have to get a better test score than this person. I have to do this to get above this person in the corporate ladder. And win-win is going to save our planet. So that's my world, trying to have people, teachers, kids, adults, superintendents, corporations realize that there's a different way to communicate and to be with people by looking for like a win-win. And like Gary Vee does it best, because, the whole concept of a chief heart officer is where I heard that, where that only person's job is to make sure the well-being of the people there. I mean, imagine at a school, if there was a person that their only job was to make sure, are you hydrated? Did you take a breath today? How's everything going? How's your morning? What's going on at home? Do you want to have a conversation for 15 minutes? It's on the clock. You're getting paid for it. Just like all this different stuff to be like, oh, like I love coming here, and I do work for them, So it's like it's an interesting world that I've gotten myself into.
Yeah. And, we are so excited too, because we get to represent you with Luminary Leaders, and we look forward to putting you in front of, a lot of us in assemblies, just all over the world, because I think what you offer, Ron, you have me laughing every time we get on the phone or we get on a Zoom. I'm like, you're the laughter that I needed for that hour or whatever, really, and you've opened my eyes to some Netflix shows and different movies and things. And I'm like,
and
wow.
Psychically knew what you were watching while I was watching on the other side of the country, and we talked about it. So,
yes, exactly.
Energy cords just connecting.
Yep.
It's a whole nother conversation.
It's a whole nother conversation. But you're a lot of fun. But in the same token, you're very passionate about what you do. And I know that on your Instagram posts that you do and on YouTube, you do a lot of video, you do a lot of live stuff, and you're showing people your Yogarate, the things that you do to really help people. Can you talk a little bit about that? Like what, when you talk about Yogarate, maybe you can start there and just kind of share how it has empowered and helped people in so many ways.
Yoga and karate have a similarity, and that similarity is breath. It's breathing. People are discovering more and more the power of breath. There's a guy, Wim Hof, Wimhof. He's called the Iceman. He shorts. He swims underneath ice blocks in the ocean. He understands how to change our breath to change our body's physiology. So when I'm working with kids, I was a karate instructor first, and then I was introduced to yoga and the movements of yoga that I started 20 years ago. And I just put a video up of me at my gym yesterday at 45 human years old plus 300 pounds doing a full bridge into a nose bridge.
That was incredible. I had to do a second take. I'm like, whoa. That position is hard for most people to hold.
And people, when they meet me, they don't realize how big I am, 6 foot tall and 300 pounds, blah, blah, this and that. So, but that's what the yoga is about, breathing. The karate, it is about breathing. So for me, any way to get people to just take more breaths is what I need to do. Whether I walk out on a stage dressed like the Matrix costume, people are like, oh, boom, one. We got one, which is one more than they probably would have taken for themselves. So
Yeah.
for me, it's teaching them there's different types of breathing. I do belly breathing, cold breathing, fire breathing, Wim Hof breathing. What's it called? Jellyfish breathing. I'll do one if you want.
Jellyfish breathing.
Yeah, jellyfish breathing is amazing. Cold breath is. Do you like to calm yourself down?
I do.
Okay.
And sometimes I try to use meditation.
Okay.
Plus I do some of the breathing, but show us the jellyfish breathing.
All right, so
What's
jellyfish breathing, what it is, we have 3 compartments that we breathe from. Just like we have 3 parts of our body that we can make decisions from, that a lot of people don't know. Most people just make decisions with their mind, but they don't know that they can also make a decision with their heart, and they can also make a decision with their gut. So we also breathe with 3 different components. So first of all, you take a big belly breath, make your belly big, breathe in, use your stomach muscles, and they are under there, to push your belly out. So go like this, breathe in and push your belly out. Good, now breathe in with your chest. Now bring your arms all the way over your head and breathe in so you fill up all the air in here. We'll do it again.
So hopefully our audience is doing this too.
Yeah, exactly. So then you breathe out. Breathe out with your chest.
Yeah.
Breathe out with your belly. And if you do it all at once, what you do is you breathe in with your belly, breathe in with your chest, breathe in with your side body, your muscles around your ribs, and you fill all this up. And people get such a sensation because they haven't taken a breath like this before. I mean, I could talk for another probably minute and a half with all the air that I have in my body, and then I still go.
That looks so relaxing.
It is. I mean, that's great. I like cold breathing, where you take your tongue, you put it behind the back of your bottom teeth, and you go like this. Like that. Take your tongue, put it behind the back of your bottom teeth, and now go breathe in with your mouth. And what do you feel over your tongue?
Cold.
Right. So that's a cooling sensation where it mentally calms your body down. So if you take 2 regular breaths, you go, it doesn't really make a difference. But if you do the cold breathing, correction, it does make a difference. But more the cold breathing is more intentionality to cool yourself down. And you do that 2 or 3 times, all of a sudden makes a difference, because instead of being in your hand, you're like, oh, my tongue just got cold. That's interesting. And then you snap yourself out of it. You do what's called
so it's kind of like an anchor. Yeah.
Exactly.
I love that. And I know I've watched a lot of your videos, and I've gotten, pretty interesting techniques and doing some of those. And I know the hair that you have on this beautiful, the locks. I mean, you've got just, that incredible head of hair. Tell us about, you've got different colors too. So you do this in front of,
all right. So I'm gonna give this away. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, squirrels and chickens, this is not my real hair. So a moment of I guess this is my real hair. Okay, cool. No. So let me just remove that. There you go. It doesn't look as beautiful. I have so many wigs. I mean, I have this blue. I got that blue. Here a blue, there a blue, everywhere a blue, oh McDonald. There you go. So it depends. You know what it is?
It's so much fun.
It depends on what I'm doing, because if I'm doing 3 assembly programs, then I wear the darker blue one because it's tighter and I'm jumping around. I'm doing this thing called the laser beam game and blah, blah, blah. If I'm doing a keynote where I'm not really doing a lot of movement, I'll wear something that's shinier and more flashier, but it all depends on the environment. But I adapt to it, and still, I'm always in costume. How's my hair?
Oh, I love it. And the cool thing is that you could do virtual events, you could do in-person events. So really, you could be all over the country in one day.
I am. Yeah. It's amazing. I've had the farthest I've been is on 2 different coasts for 3 different companies in one day, to do a parent training in the evening and then to do some trainings and other stuff. It's just, I love the virtual world. It's crazy. I have a big green screen in my room. Scruffy sometimes gets involved in my trainings. It's awesome.
So cute. Oh. Yeah, he's a character. He's definitely a character. Mm-hmm. Ron, he is man's best friend, right? Mm-hmm. So when you think about, just 2021, what has it brought to you so far? Just, after the pandemic, I mean, I think we're coming out of it, which is kind of cool. But what what's going on in your world now, and what do you foresee coming in 2021 up on the horizon?
So 2020, I spent a lot of time creating. People
Mhm.
reached out to me. I love that people reach out to me for things that I don't even have yet. Like someone reached out to me in January for a social justice assembly program. They said, "Do you do that?" I said, "We'll have one by the time it's time for your staff meeting." And then
Yeah.
because just any that's how the universe brings things to me. Like the Yogarate, I was literally it's like yoga and karate, and like the roof tore off and lights go, oh, whatever. So with,
Oh
with,
my
with
gosh.
with this one, it's like we've been trained our whole entire lives, like from Sesame Street, which of these things is not like the other, which of these things is not the same. So we've been
Yeah.
programmed and trained to look for the differences in people. So I developed a concept called saming, which is when you look for the similarity in someone. So if you look at somebody and go, "Oh, we have two arms, I have two arms, we're the same," then you're connecting with that person instead of doing the opposite, which is looking for the differences. So saming, not shaming,
Mm.
is the program that we're doing. I mean, we put that together. I put a whole entire platform together of Yogarate. I wanted to have people learn how to do Yogarate. And then working with Daniel Pewter, one of my mentors,
Yeah.
I learned about this thing called the Google Classroom. And I'm like, oh, wait, I can put everything there. And then I took
Yep.
10 years of videos. I have clips of kids that are now 20, no, probably like 17, 18 years old that I have videos of them at 5 that I have the clips on there. And now people can learn Yogarate from watching all the videos and they can go teach it wherever they want. And I just put that together 2 months ago. So it's really,
Wow. That
it's
is
really
so cool.
about it's about adapting. It really is about
Yeah.
adapting and figuring things out and moving forward. And just got to
Right.
keep moving. Same thing, kids. They adapt, they learn, they process. They're like iPads, computers. Same
They
thing. Yeah,
are.
it's
They are.
amazing. Yeah,
And I know that you also do this for corporations. So can you talk a little
absolutely.
bit about that? Because I don't want people to think that, oh gosh, he's just full of, excitement and all of this, but how is that going to apply to, a corporation or a team?
My world is about having people understand their joy and how I learn to get out of my own way by discovering what I don't know that I don't know so that I
Mhm.
can move it to different parts is the same thing that I do when I work with companies. If
Yeah.
there is someone that has a feeling that comes up for them when they get triggered, if they don't understand where it's coming from and they can't relate to having a conversation about, okay, so this is when I was in second grade and this kid used to bully me and now this person reminds me of that bully. Oh, that makes sense. So when they say this to me, I don't have to respond. It's just really a way to solve problems as quickly as possible, where
Mhm.
going through understanding different things, like for example, this is one thing that kind of gets people thinking and they go, I do this automatic, because I talk a lot about automatic patterns, and there's a Dr. Joe Dispenza that talks about 85 to 90% of your day is done repetitive thoughts or negative thoughts. So if I can
Yeah.
snap you out of 10% of that and then you become more awake, then you're more productive. Like for example, have you ever created an expectation for another human?
Yeah, my kids.
Got it. Think about an expectation that you created for them. Have you ever created the expectation for one of your kids, comma, never told them about the expectation? Then when they don't fulfill the expectation that they know nothing
Oh
about,
my gosh.
who are
Oh
you
yeah.
programmed to get? Who do you get upset at?
I get upset at them sometimes and I shouldn't.
And that doesn't, well, oh, there you go. See, what you
Yeah.
did was you said that word should. See, as human beings, if you want to catch yourself stopping making expectations for other people, whenever you
Mhm.
say the word should, that right there, just get, when you say should, you're literally about to set yourself for upset. Think about it. Well, society should be this way. Traffic should
Mm.
be this way. My husband should
Wow.
be this way. My boss should be this way. So you're creating this should in your mind, which has nothing to do with reality, and then you're getting upset, which is why there's so much anxiety and upset and depression, because
Ooh,
people
that's
don't
yeah.
understand that they're doing this to themselves. So one little thing I teach people, when you catch yourself saying the word should, and I joke around, I go like this, I'm like, when you should on other people, like you're literally like shooting all over other people. Should.
Yeah, shooting.
So
right.
ready, just consider next time you have an expectation for your kids, instead of taking a big should all over them, okay, consider changing should to could. So what's one expectation that you have of your kids? Just anyone. They should what?
Take out the trash without me having to ask.
Got it. So notice the tone and notice how you feel. Now change the should to a could. Say that same sentence. They could, and say the same sentence.
So they could take out the trash when it gets full.
But notice the way that you said that. Notice the way that you felt. There wasn't an upset. There wasn't a like they could. And then all of a sudden, you feel immediately you feel different. And then you go, you know what? I really could take out the garbage. I mean, I could, or I really could remind them. I could ask them instead of they should, because they should know this and that. And then all of a sudden the energy's thrown up. That's one of like 50 things that I give companies and schools, and I talk to them that they go. And then literally
that's a big aha moment. Yeah. Because we get so caught up in our own, anxiety or frustration or whatever. And come to find out, I may not have even asked them to do something, and I am expecting it.
We have been trained to believe that what happens in our mind is how reality should be. And we won't even consider leaving to go to work an extra 15 minutes early. It takes us a half hour to get to work, so we leave a half hour. And then if there's traffic or holy moly, a school bus in the morning, that's effing insane. Then we start making rash driving decisions, and instead of slowing down at the yellow light, we go to gun the red light or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of getting to a place early, going, cool, I'm going to watch something on Netflix. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to go into my office and actually, oh, you're early? Of course I'm early, blah, blah, blah. But we don't think that. We expect that it's going to be the perfect drive, and then we do crazy stuff, and then we literally get upset other people, and when it's all us.
It's all in our head, and it's us having these expectations that are not realistic. Right?
At all. If you eliminate expectations, you will literally transform your life of joy.
I love that. Oh, that is a big aha moment. And I think a lot of our followers and listeners, I think, will learn from that too. Because when I think of it, I think a lot of us do that, whether it's in business or in families. Yeah.
How many people, if you hold the door for someone, and that person walks by, maybe they're on their phone, they're not paying attention, and then that person doesn't say thank you, you held the door for them, and you lose your mind. And then
say thank you.
Right. But whatever. Yeah. And then 4 hours later, you're about to hold the door for somebody else at a different place, and they go, and then you walk through that quick little one, so the door slams in their face. They didn't do anything to you. It was the person 4 hours ago, but you held on to it. And it runs you. Some people hold on to things for decades.
Yes. Yeah, we do. Some of us. Yeah. Not me though. Not you. Right.
I'm saying my role is to help them. I love when I can coach somebody or work with someone that literally when they realize, oh my goodness, I do this because in first grade I did this and this what happened, blah, blah, and they go like this. And then they look 20 years younger. Because they've been holding on to it for so long, and they look, and their shoulders are down, and they're just, it's like unplugging them from the matrix. It's so effing cool. I love when I see that from people.
Wow. That is so cool. And, just to remind our audience, we are here with Ron Shuali, and he is a keynote speaker. He is definitely, I'm just visualizing you being on Saturday Night Live at some point. But I think overall, you've got that it factor, Ron. And when I first met you, it's just, you're fun, you're exciting, but on top of that, it's like you have all this greatness that you provide at assemblies, changing lives of kids and parents. And, and I think it's
everyone,
just,
humans. Yeah.
I mean, it's endless. It's endless. And I think a lot of us, we're a kid at heart, but sometimes we need to be reminded, of that internal child that we have inside and make it laugh, right?
If we don't talk to our inner child, give it what it wants, even like once a week, it physically takes a toll on us. I tell people, like, I want my inner child to be happy, I'll go on YouTube, I'll type in 80s cartoon theme songs, and then for a half hour in the car, I'm singing
Just
thunder,
listen.
thunder, 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 cat,
Oh
G.I. Joe,
Oh my gosh.
He-Man, and then, I mean, right now, my little kid's inside's going, yay, like whatever.
Yes.
Go listen to some songs from your childhood.
That is such a great idea. I'm going to do that.
Go and listen, all you health people. Go into a store. Go to that aisle and get yourself the variety pack of Lucky Charms, Corn Pops, Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, all that stuff, and just pour it into one bowl, and then just sit there cross-legged with the big bowl and some cereal and a spoon, and just eat it. And your inner child will glow. We ignore it.
God.
I'm guilty of it too.
That is so cool.
I have Yeah. Inner child work, I've learned living in Florida over the last year, inner child work is the most amazing work, and most of our trauma and most of our stuff, like Americans especially, are designed, when something upsets you, you push it down, alcohol, drugs, pills, this and that, cigarettes, whatever. But the way to get past trauma is all the stuff. Like, I was whooped when I was a little kid. Of course, I was an ass. I mean, I understand it, but the adult gets it. But the little 6-year-old that's getting whooped is still in there repeatedly going, Mommy, why are you hurting me? Mommy, why are you hurting me? So I got that I was abused, but I wasn't abused, but I was abused in that perspective. So doing inner child work, and this one thing I learned called the Ho'oponopono, I hope I said it right. Prayer. It's like it's a Hawaiian mantra. It's thank you, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. And what I do is every day, and I don't do it as much as I promised my inner child I would, is I have this mirror here. Remember romper, bumper, stomper, boo? And then I look at it, and I'm supposed to look at it and breathe in and breathe out and go, thank you. I love you. Please forgive me, I'm sorry. And talking to the inner child. And then when the little kid wants to play, like if I'm supposed to work on something and Scruffy's over there, I hear my inner child going, go play with the doggy. And I go, okay, come here. And then we roll around the ground for 20 minutes. And it's so much fun.
And that definitely brings the inner child out, right?
Yeah, and we forget to do that, especially as adults.
I think so. We have to play and have fun, right? We do.
We get to. People think that they have to go to work. When they don't, because then they become a victim in their own mind of it. If you get to go to work, then every day is a blessing that you get to do it. It's just that's another Daniel Peter, My Life, My Power, brilliant thing that came from that guy. But have to get to it's a whole different world. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to pay bills. I get to pay bills.
Yeah, exactly.
I get to have air conditioning right now because it's 92 degrees outside.
Oh my God, and humid in Florida.
Yeah, and there's people that I see, and I give them $20 every time I possibly can. They don't have air conditioning right now because they have a cup of water outside for the next 8 hours. So,
wow.
Yeah. Good job. Okay.
Yeah. No, you're such a fun person. I mean, your spirit is just off the charts. This has been fun, Ron, and I know we're coming to the end. We're almost at 30 minutes, but I'll tell you, it was you had me going, and it's great information for our audience. And I have so many hashtags I'm going to be using for this.
Nice.
And we do want to give a shout out because we both know Daniel Pooter, who he's a very good friend of yours, and I met him a few years ago. We had several clients that luminary leaders that were actually on his radio show. So Daniel, we want to give you a shout out. We adore you. Yeah. But Ron, thank you so much for, being here on Luminary Leaders Live. You gave some incredible information. And I think, those out there that are just tuning in, or, you hopefully have been able to watch the whole
That's
show,
right.
because there's just so much. It's jam packed with goodness.
Yeah.
But we want to thank you for watching, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check out Ron. I know I have his LinkedIn profile there. However, Ron, tell people how they can get a hold of you.
So you can email me at ronspeak, RONSPEAK.com. That's easy peasy. On my YouTube channel, I have tons of videos, all free content, Yogarate channel, all these different amazing things, full trainings, virtual stuff. If you go to www.ronshuali's youtube.com, SHUALI. Just type in Ron Shuali's youtube.com. It'll take you right to the YouTube channel. If you want to subscribe, click on the bell. I post videos every single day, and there's just a lot of really cool content on there.
Do.
All my silliness. Yep.
You're great at that.
Gotta do it, Gary V. Gotta post every day.
Yeah. Yep. And you're doing it, and you're right in there, and just inspiring people, and making people get up and move and enjoy life. So thank you, Ron, again. And thank you for, we love Scruffy. I know he's in there with you, and I saw him earlier. He's so adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's on my YouTube channel too. Yeah, he's on there.
Yes, I've seen him.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely saw him there. Well, again, thank you, Ron. This was fun. I'm going to do my breathing this afternoon, and I'm going to be thinking of you and how glorious it's going to feel after I'm done. But again, thank you everyone for joining us. Ron, have a wonderful day in Florida. And thanks for being here on Luminary Leaders Live, and we'll catch everyone.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you too. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.